Welcome to BearsToBulls.com. It is August 14th, and we are going to be taking a look at the week ahead for gold and oil futures. If we take a look at last week on gold moved a decent amount. We can see that it moved off the plus zero point 0.5 deviation line and had a great retrace back to about midpoint. So you guys could have captured that trade. That was definitely a nice one. Clean, crisp. Came up. Next candle was down. So for the week ahead, though, if you pull out a little bit and zoom in here, it's bouncing off the support level around 1335. It hit it once, hit it twice, hit it three times, and it's on a down candle for the fourth time. So I will be watching that level closely to see if it breaks through. That's also the lower level of the Keltner channel, so it could break out of that as well. So I'd say starting tonight and tomorrow, that's where I'm going to be watching to see if any movement happens. It'll be easier to tell tomorrow too once the standard deviation level is drawn. But if it bounces off of that, it could well or go. So you're well on its way to the upside. Let's check out this level here. We get 1361 would probably be the next point of resistance. That was the half deviation move from last week, and if we zoom in a little bit, here is where it was a resistance point, and then it finally broke. After the 1361, I'd be looking at 1373 as the next point, which is about a deviation move last week. But once it breaks through that, I'd have to pull back out and see. But I also wouldn't be trading a daily or weekly because it would have probably broken the deviation box. I'm assuming it's going to be fairly similar considering where it ended. We'll have to wait and see once we get that plotted. So for this upcoming week, I'm looking at 1336 as support, and then I'm looking at 1361 as resistance, and then I'm looking up to the top side at 1374 as resistance as well. So if we head on over here to gold, or oil, my apologies. Oil definitely made a great move. It came up to a half deviation and it pulled back, so you definitely could have gotten a trade in there. And then it came up and broke through the half deviation, making a full run to a deviation move. Let's see here. We're at 44.43, and this candle closed at 44.41. So it literally closed at the deviation level. As you can see, it definitely made a swing back to the upside after this long, sharp downtrend. And so as for next week, if it's made a full deviation move this previous week, I'm going to be looking for a decent move next week. So some points of resistance I'm looking at are about $45. But if it decides to turn to the downside, I'm looking back here at 42.06. That resisted once, twice, we'll call it 2 to 3 times. Broke a little bit, but it held support down here around the 41.22 level, which was back here on August 3rd. So those are the points to the downside, but for the upside, like I said, I'm looking at like $45, because if you pull back here, that's where the breakdown occurred, was about $45. So naturally, its price is going to want to retrace up to where it broke down. So like I said, we'll see how the standard deviation box draws, because if the box pops up with a half deviation level here, that's just going to make that resistant point or resistant level more enforceable, considering it's where the price broke down, and then that's where the half deviation moves. So you'd be looking for a bounce off of that. So we'll wait and see what the box draws. If you look down here, indicators are showing it might want to go back to the downside, but I'm not fully convinced considering the candles are still pretty strong. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to leave a comment or email us at bearstobulls@yahoo.com. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel where you get all the updated information. Follow us on Twitter at THE Bears to Bulls, and that's where we post our updates with trades, articles, and videos. And be sure to head on over the site and check us out. If you have any questions, like I said, leave a comment. Talk to you soon.